Hello and welcome all of you. I am your Unacademy Plus educator, Miss Pubaly Deb, and today we are here to understand the topic, a very important topic of NTSE, that is socialism in Europe. Right? This topic is important in so many ways because not just for cracking NTSE, but to understand the current scenario, to understand the society, the economy that you're living in, the political ideologies around countries, right? To understand that, to understanding. So here I am with you. I'm your plus educator, Miss Pubaly Deb, right? And I'm here to teach you the topic today, socialism in Europe. Just give me a second. Yeah, we are covering the topic socialism in Europe. And my educator's code is Pubaly24 if you want to subscribe to Unacademy and to get access to all the plus courses, all the plus material that I'm bringing for you. On Unacademy also I'm bringing a very exclusive course for history, NTSC, specifically ancient India and so on, right? So you can go and search that. If you want to subscribe to Unacademy, you can use this referral code Pubaly24. Using this will give you a 10% of discount. Other than plus courses, do visit my page course on Unacademy. There you will find many courses on special classes which you are not yet subscribed to Unacademy. You can get access to all of that. Go through the chapters, take your trial classes, see if you can understand all that. If you enjoy learning on Unacademy, do not forget to subscribe. Okay, so moving ahead today, just give me a second, just wait 2 minutes. I did not find any live chat, so I think we'll just move on with this. So today we are going to understand this topic of socialism in Europe. Before we go into understanding how socialism spread in Europe, Russian Revolution, and so on about this particular topic, we will first understand the terminology of what is socialism, what is communism. So we will be understanding that first. Okay. So let's take a look at the society of Russia at that point of time. What was happening in Russia? Let's take a look on that. For that, please let me know that if I'm audible to you. If I'm audible to all of you, let me know that. Okay, so let's begin with this chapter. So coming of socialism to Europe, before we start with the terminology, what is socialism, what is capitalism, we have to understand what is a communist society and what is a socialist society and what is a capitalist society. So we know that, Karl Marx, in his Communist Manifesto, in this book Communist Manifesto, he have told about what is communism is, what is a communist society, right? And from there on, we understand what a socialist society means, right? So before that, we have to understand what does capitalism means. What is the meaning of capitalism? Capitalism, in this sense, simply means that who is a capitalist? Capitalist is the boss. Capitalist is the person who invests his money. Money is the capital. Who invests his money, build a office, okay, or a factory or an industry, and he owns all the, the machineries, the infrastructure of the building, also the people working in the industry, in the office. He pays all those employees. So these people who are working in the industry or the office are known as the working class. Now the question here comes, how does a capitalist earns profit? Capitalist को profit कैसे earn करते थे? How does a capitalist earns profit? This is a very, very important question that we have to figure out. I live? I have to understand that, because here I'm not understanding whether I'm live or not. Yeah. So, how does a capitalist earns profit? A capitalist earns profit. How will he earn profit? So there could be different ways through which you can earn profit as an entrepreneur, as a capitalist. Okay. For example, first, if you're making a product, आप उसकी क्वालिटी को थोड़ा कम कर सकते हैं. So for that, what you will be using a very cheap raw material, that the cost of production of that raw material will be really low, and then you can probably sell the product at a lower cost. But in that case, the other companies which are selling their products at a higher quality products, customers will buy their product and not yours. So hence, capitalist idea will fail. Secondly, what they can do, they can use really amazing raw material, and they can actually use a lot of better raw material to produce their goods. In that case, their cost of production will really go high, and probably that will the selling price of the good will be high as well, and hence the customer again will not buy the product because it's expensive. So in that case, what the capitalist can do to earn profit? The capitalist, Karl Marx says that the capitalist exploits the working class. How does he gains profit? He gains profit by exploiting the working class. ठीक है? He exploits the working class. कैसे exploit करते हैं? For example, these three are working for 3 hours and are getting 300 rupees each, or 100 rupees each. Okay? 100 rupees each they are getting. Now the capitalist can ask them to work for say 6 hours, but will still pay them 100 rupees or that's the 150 rupees, because there's a lot of competition in the market. उनको अपनी job चाहिए, अगर वो job छोड़ देते हैं तो उनको शायद दोबारा job नहीं मिलेगी, because the labor is in excess. ठीक है? There's a lot of labor in the market, availability of labor is high, and job requirements are high, but job availability is less. तो वर्कर्स को सुनना पड़ता था कैपिटलिस्ट की बात को, एंड वो ज्यादा आवर्स काम करते थे कम पैसे में. तो नाउ द वर्कर्स आर अर्निंग 300 rupees, but they are working at 6 hours. ठीक है? सो 3 hours जो एक्स्ट्रा उन्होंने काम कराया वर्किंग क्लास से, उसका पैसा उनको नहीं देना पड़ा कैपिटलिस्ट को. सो ये जो 3 hours की प्रोडक्टिविटी थी, ठीक है, ये जो 3 hours की प्रोडक्टिविटी थी, दिस इज द प्रॉफिट of the capitalist. Okay, you understood how does a capitalist earn profit? ये होता है capitalism ऐसे काम करता है. Now capitalism, जैसे कि कार्ल मार्क्स ने बताया कि capitalism exploit करता है workers को, और workers को exploit करने के बाद उनको profit मिलता है. शालिनी, लावेश, good evening. Am I audible to all of you? Please let me know. ठीक है? Now in second case, when we talk about communist, when we talk about the communist, okay, communist is saying, communist is simple to your project. Say you are making an SST project, and in your group there are 3 kids. अब generally क्या होता है इन 3 kids में, तीनों बच्चों को इवेल्युएट किया जाता है, लेकिन पीपीटी कोई एक ही बच्चा बनाता है, बाकी 2 बच्चे इतना ज्यादा काम नहीं करते. फॉर एग्जांपल, जो पहला बच्चा है, जो फर्स्ट किड है, उसने क्या किया, उसने पेपर्स खरीद के लाया, उसने रॉ मटेरियल सबको दे दिया. जो सेकेंड बच्चा है, उसने नेट पे से थोड़ा बहुत रिसर्च किया, वो सारा मटेरियल उसने थर्ड को दे दिया. जो थर्ड किड है, वो सारी बैठ के मेहनत करता है, फाइल बनाता है, लिखता है, कटिंग करता है, पेस्टिंग करता है, क्रिएटिव वर्क करता है, ड्राइंग करता है, सब कुछ थर्ड वाला किड कर रहा है. लेकिन मार्क्स किसको कैसे मिल रहे हैं? So the teacher is giving 10 marks to the first kid, 10 marks to the second kid, and 10 marks to the third kid. तीनों को बराबर पैसे मिले. Equal division of wealth like it happened in communist society. So communist society बड़ी ideal society है. वहाँ पे generally जो होता है वो बहुत idealistic होता है. इसीलिए communist हम बोलते तो हैं that it is a communist country, communist society, but actually में communist society, it doesn't exist. तो कम्युनिस्ट की जगह कौन सी सोसाइटी एग्जिस्ट करती है? कम्युनिस्ट की जगह सोसाइटी जो एग्जिस्ट करती है कम्युनिस्ट के नाम पे आजकल, उसको बोला जाता है सोशलिस्ट सोसाइटी, सोशलिज्म. तो जहां पे भी आपको दिख रहा है कि कम्युनिज्म फॉलो हो रहा है, वहां पे कम्युनिज्म एक्चुअली में फॉलो नहीं हो रहा, वहां पे सोशलिज्म फॉलो हो रहा है। नाउ व्हाट इज सोशलिज्म? यही सेम एग्जांपल अगर हम देखें तीन बच्चों का, दिस इज चाइल्ड नंबर A1, दिस इज चाइल्ड नंबर 2 एंड दिस इज चाइल्ड नंबर 3। चाइल्ड नंबर 1 ने रॉ मटेरियल प्रोवाइड करी, फाइल प्रोवाइड करी, पेपर प्रोवाइड करा, पेन प्रोवाइड करा। चाइल्ड नंबर 2 ने थोड़ा सा इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट किया नेट से, और चाइल्ड नंबर 3 जो है उसने सारी मेहनत करी, लिखने की, कटिंग पेस्टिंग, सारा क्रिएटिव वर्क उसने किया। तो probably teacher will now divide the marks on the basis of the work done. So child number 1 को शायद सिर्फ 6 मार्क्स मिलेंगे आउट ऑफ 10, चाइल्ड नंबर 2 को शायद 7 मार्क्स मिलेंगे आउट ऑफ 10, whereas चाइल्ड नंबर 3 को शायद 9.5 मिलेंगे आउट ऑफ 10। अंडरस्टूड? सो एवरीवन इज ट्रीटेड और गिविंग द मनी एज पर देयर हार्ड वर्क। कम्युनिस्ट और सोशलिस्ट सोसाइटी में डिफरेंस आपको समझ में आ गया? सो कम्युनिस्ट इज अ वेरी आइडियलिस्टिक सोसाइटी, वो बिलोंग नहीं करती है, उसकी जगह हम क्या फॉलो करते हैं? सोशलिस्ट सोसाइटी फॉलो करते हैं। लेकिन इसमें और कैपिटलिज्म में क्या डिफरेंस है? इसमें और कैपिटलिज्म में ये डिफरेंस है कि कैपिटलिज्म में ये तीनों इतनी मेहनत का काम कर रहे थे, ठीक है, ये तीनों बच्चे इतनी मेहनत का काम कर रहे थे, बहुत मेहनत करी, तीनों बच्चों ने बहुत रिसर्च करी, 8-8 घंटे लाइब्रेरी में बैठे, उन्होंने एक प्रोजेक्ट लिख के दिया, और टीचर ने बोला अगर तुम्हें 10 मार्क्स चाहिए तो एक प्रोजेक्ट से काम नहीं चलेगा, तुम्हें 4 प्रोजेक्ट्स बना के देने पड़ेंगे, तभी तुम्हें 10 मार्क्स मिल पाएंगे। मतलब ये तीनों बच्चे जो इतनी मेहनत कर रहे हैं, उनको उनको उसकी वैल्यू नहीं मिल रही है, ठीक है, उनको एक्सप्लॉइट किया जा रहा है ज्यादा काम करने के लिए। अंडरस्टूड? सो दैट इज हाउ कैपिटलिस्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू कार्ल मार्क्स वर्क, where the working class or the workers are exploited by the capitalist, right? They are not paid for the excessive hours that they are working, and so there is no equality of wealth distribution. कैपिटलिस्ट बिना काम करे ज्यादातर प्रॉफिट लेके चला जाता है, और जो वर्कर्स होते हैं तो इतने घंटे काम करते हैं, उनको एक्चुअल प्रॉफिट नहीं मिल पाता। So this is the difference between capitalism, communism and socialism. I hope this is clear to you. Now moving on, ये समझना बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट था, वरना ये चैप्टर आपको नहीं समझ में आता कि हम क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं। So ये कॉन्ट्रास्ट समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था। I hope this is clear to you. ये आपको समझ में आ गया है कॉन्ट्रास्ट। Now support for socialism, ठीक है, 1870s onward support of socialism शुरू हो गया। आपको पता है 1872 1789 हमारा जो फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन होता है, वहीं से प्रिविलेज क्लासेस, मोनार्की, इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, ये सारे जो प्रिविलेज क्लासेस है ना, उन पे क्वेश्चन होना शुरू हो जाता है कि हम लोग सारा काम करते हैं और हम लोगों को रिम्यूनरेशन नहीं मिलता, हम लोगों को पैसा नहीं मिलता, सारा पैसा नोबल्स, प्रिविलेज क्लासेस, किंग्स, मोनार्क्स, इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, कैपिटलिस्ट, सारा इनके पास चला जाता है। सो द वर्किंग क्लास, the third estate, the people like workers, peasants, now they are questioning that why are we not getting paid, why are we not getting the money, the wealth that we really deserve. So धीरे धीरे ये जो आइडिया ऑफ सोशलिज्म है ये यूरोप में फैलने लगता है, बहुत सारे पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज बनती है, लेबर पार्टी, सोशलिस्ट पार्टी, ये फॉर्म होती है सोशलिस्ट आइडियोलॉजी को लेके कि जो जितना काम करेगा उसको उतने पैसे मिलेंगे। जैसे कि हमने बताया ना, अगर 3 बच्चे काम कर रहे हैं और उसने बहुत मेहनत करी तो उसको फुल मार्क्स मिलेंगे, जो काम नहीं कर रहा उसको पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे, ठीक है। ट्रेड यूनियंस और ये सारी चीजें डेवलप होना शुरू हो जाती है बाय 1905। तो ये तो यूरोप में दैट वाज द सिनेरियो दैट वाज हैपनिंग। रशिया की अगर पर्टिकुलरली बात करी जाए, सोशलिज्म इन रशिया, अगर पर्टिकुलरली हम रशिया की बात करें, रशिया में 1900 पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज इन रशिया में इलीगल बिफोर 1914। 1914 से पहले यहाँ पे जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज थी वो 98 सोशलिस्ट फाउंडेड रशियन सोशल डेमोक्रेटिक वर्कर, कार्ल मार्क्स व्यू, कार्ल मार्क्स का जो सोशलिज्म को लेके, कम्युनिज्म को लेके जो व्यू था, उन्होंने उसकी रेस्पेक्ट करी। Some Russian socialists felt that Russian peasants' custom of dividing land periodically made them natural socialists. तो रशिया में क्या होता था, जो पेजेंट्स होते थे वो आपस में लैंड को डिवाइड करते थे, मतलब जिसको जितनी जरूरत है, जिसको उस साल, मान लो इस साल मुझे पैसे की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है, मेरे घर में कुछ ऐसा ओकेजन है जिसकी वजह से मुझे पैसे की बहुत जरूरत है, तो मेरे पास लैंड ज्यादा होगा। सो रशियन पेजेंट्स यूज्ड टू डिवाइड लैंड्स अमंग ईच अदर, जिसको जितनी जरूरत होगी उसके पास उतना लैंड होगा। सो दिस trait of dividing land was already considered as a trait of communism. तो रशियन सोशलिस्ट समझते थे कि रशिया में तो Throughout the 19th century, socialists were active in the countryside and formed Socialist Revolutionary Party in 1900. Socialist Revolutionary Party इन्होंने फॉर्म करी 1900 में जाके, ठीक है. These are all illegal parties because उस टाइम पे रशिया में कौन है? रशिया में ऑलरेडी मोनार्की है. रशिया में मोनार्की सिस्टम चल रहा है ऑलरेडी, एंड देयर इज अ जार इन रशिया, ठीक है. देयर इज अ जार इन रशिया और मोनार्की ऑलरेडी चल रही है. तो उस टाइम पे पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज और कम्युनिस्ट आइडियाज और इन सब चीजों के बारे में बात करना है इलीगल, ठीक है. द पार्टी फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन पढ़ा होगा. फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन में क्या होता है? दैट द peasants fight against the nobles, the first estate, the second estate to get land. कैंसिल कर देते हैं, फ्यूडल लॉस को डिलीट कर देते हैं. चर्च के पास से जितना लैंड होता है वो पेजेंट्स को मिल जाता है. नोबल्स के पास जो एक्सेसिव लैंड होता है वो पेजेंट्स को मिल जाता है. वही आइडियाज पे रशिया भी क्या बोलते हैं? रशिया के जो पेजेंट्स है वो बोलते हैं कि जो लैंड है नोबल्स के पास, उनके पास लैंड नहीं होनी चाहिए. ये जो एक्सेसिव लैंड है ये सारे पेजेंट्स में डिवाइड हो जाना चाहिए. ओके तो हम रशिया की अगर बात करें, रशिया में इस टाइम पे किंग कौन थे? रशिया के किंग थे जार निकोलस II. Okay, it's a very, very important notes that I've made for you. You can just write it down. Tsar Nicholas II, he was the Russian emperor. He ruled Russia. It included the current day empire of Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine, Belarus, stretched to the Pacific, Central Asia, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. So let me tell you the map. So ये जो आपको यहाँ पे एरिया दिख रहा है, this is Finland, this is part of the Poland area, ठीक है. This is यहाँ पे आपका लिथुनिया, लैटविया, ये सब पार्ट भी आपका यहाँ पे मिलेगा आपको. Then the areas of Azerbaijan, I think it is there. Let me see. Yeah, this area, this extra area क्या हुआ? रशिया के ग्रिप से ये सारे एम्पायर छूट गए. वो कैसे, मैं आपको अभी बताऊंगी, ठीक है. सो रशियन एम्पायर was cropped up and many areas were lost. Now the current Russia do not have these areas in its control. So this is the current map of Russia. तो हम जिस एरिया के बारे में पढ़ने वाले in the Russian Empire, Russian Revolution, that would be Saint Petersburg. Petersburg, Petrograd. आपके चैप्टर में जो नाम दिया हुआ है Petrograd, that comes from the name Saint Petersburg. I hope this is clear to all of you. Any queries you may ask, okay? Saint Petersburg. So in 1905, सबसे पहले रशियन रेवोल्यूशन शुरू होता है 1905 से, ठीक है. 1905 में क्या होता है? रशिया was an autocracy. Autocracy means king's rule, and the king's rule is the ultimate decision of the king. Okay, autocracy means ultimate decision of monarch. monarch ने जो बोल दिया उसका अपना फायदा monarch देखेगा. बाकी peasants, workers के साथ क्या हो रहा है? The king, the monarch has nothing to do with it. Okay, and even at the beginning of the 20th century, the Tsar was not subject to parliament. So Tsar was having a autocratic, का जो मन करता था अपनी कंट्री में वो वैसे decisions लेते थे. During the revolution of 1905, Russia, along with social democrats, socialist revolutionaries, worked with peasants and workers to demand a constitution. Okay, तो पहली बार 1905 में डिमांड रखी गई किस चीज की? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की डिमांड रखी गई पहली बार इन 1905. किसने डिमांड्स रखी? रशिया में सोशल डेमोक्रेट्स ने, सोशलिस्ट रेवोल्यूशनरीज ने एंड पेजेंट्स ने. पेजेंट्स, वर्कर्स, बेसिकली जिन लोगों की बात बिल्कुल भी किंग सुनते नहीं थे, एम्परर सुनते नहीं थे, उनको बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम फेस करनी पड़ती थी. उन्होंने बोला कि हमें किंग का ऑटोक्रेटिक रूल नहीं चाहिए. वी डू नॉट वांट द ऑटोक्रेटिक रूल ऑफ द किंग एंड वी वांट अ पार्लियामेंट्री sort of a government. We want our own constitution. Okay, so that is 1905 revolution that happened. In 1905 revolution, for Russian workers, bad times started from the year 1904. As prices of essential goods rose, their wages, lot of recession going on, the prices of the goods were growing up, their salaries were coming down. Workers went on strike, demanding a reduction in working day to 8 hours. An increase in wages and improvement in working conditions. Like I told you, how does capitalists earn profit? They make the workers work for long hours, but they pay them very less salary. So here the workers said that we want improvement in wages. We want it other way around. We want our wages to improve, but we want our working hours to reduce. Okay, those were the demands of the workers. A procession was led by Father Gapon. Father Gapon is the one who was leading this 1905 revolution. The procession was attacked by police and coquettes when it reached the Winter Palace, where the king used to reside. The incident known as Bloody Sunday started a series of events which resulted in 1905 revolution. Okay, so the 1905 revolution saw a lot of strikes all over the country of Russia. A lot of strikes happened. Engineers, doctor, middle class people, workers. So all the people who are service, those who used to work under someone, right? They all protested. During the 1905 revolution, the Tsar allowed the creation of elected consultative, that is parliament or Duma. Finally, in 1905 revolution, it was finally a success. Why? Because finally the Tsar agreed to form or give permission to form a consultative parliament, of Russia, which was also known as Duma. What is consultative parliament? In this parliament will not have major power. King still have the major power, but the king will be consulting with these representatives of the people, and they will be guiding and helping the king to take all the decisions which are good for the people of Russia. Okay. After 1905, most committees union worked unofficially since they were declared illegal. Restrictions on political activities. Okay, so there were a lot of restrictions on political activities. The Tsar did not want another revolution to happen, so he was keeping a very close eye view on the various committees and various political activities and political units. So that is 1905 revolution. That is how socialism was introduced into Russia. That is how it was introduced into Russia. So in this particular class, what you have understood what does communism, socialism and capitalism means, and also what is the difference between these three. What is the difference between these three? You have also understood about socialism. Why does it came to Europe? Because starting from the French Revolution itself, people are now not just listening to the authoritative power. They are not listening to the king. They are not listening to the industrialists. Now they are really looking at how they are exploited to gain the profit, especially the working classes, the peasants, the workers, the employees, and so on, right? So similarly, through Europe, socialism makes way into Russia, which is a monarchical, empire. It's a Russian empire, so it's controlled by the monarchy, Nicholas Tsar too. So it is controlled by Russia is controlled by Nicholas Tsar too. Over here, you understood that Nicholas Tsar was an autocratic ruler. He was not listening to anyone, whereas the workers and everyone was suffering because of the decisions the Tsar was taking, and he was not at all considerate about the people. So the people over here, they protested. 1905 revolution happened, and because of this, revolution which was taken care by the socialists, the democrats, the workers, the peasants, and so on. In 1905, finally, the Tsar gave in and he agreed to have a parliament in Russia, a consultative parliament whom he will consult before making decisions. So the king still has power. Okay, and this parliament came to be known as the Duma. So hence the beginning of parliamentary sort of a part parliamentary, a part monarchy sort of a government in Russia that happened in 1905 revolution. And here socialism started to begin. But at this point of time, Tsar was very careful that there is no other revolution. Most of the revolutionary Lenin and so on, they just left the country. Most of the socialists, they left the country. Okay, and so they are very, very, they are keeping this in mind that uh, new sort of this government that is coming up, the parliamentary monarchy that is coming up, this will lay the foundation for socialist movement that you will see in the upcoming classes in the 1917 revolution of February revolution, October revolution, that we will be doing after on probably Friday we will be doing that. Okay, so in day after tomorrow's class we will cover up and make you understand how these people of workers, peasants are protesting and wanting their rights, so the change that is happening. And finally on Friday we will also be discussing at 6 o'clock again about the February revolution and the October revolution in Russia. So that's it for today's class. I hope you understood